Today we're going to go over your senior guidance. First off, I want to make sure you know who your counselors are. Make sure you pay attention so you can know who to add for counselor rec letters and other things like that. First thing I want to do is show you the counseling website. You might have looked at it in the past, but if you haven't, you need to be very comfortable with navigating your way around it. If you click on the above link, it'll be westwoodcounseling.blogspot.com. You will see on the right there are lots of really important tabs. Everything from the Westwood High School profile. You can look to see where past graduates have gone, our UT admissions rates. There's mental health, but if you scroll down here, there's an applying to college tab. This is going to be where every resource today we talk about is attached here. And then we also have SAT and ACT, scholarships and financial aid, and NCAA. It's all linked in on the counseling website. So real quickly, graduation requirements, just do a mental check in your head and make sure you have all these credits in order to graduate this year. 4 Englishes, 4 math, 4 science, 4 social studies, 2 languages, 1 fine art, 1 PE, and 7 electives. 27 total credits. You probably have more than that, but just make sure that's the minimum. Real quickly, I know we've been talking about this since your freshman year, academy versus an endorsement. An academy is a 3 or 4 year elective-based sequence of courses. So 4 years of computer science, 4 years of dance, 4 years of art, 4 years of engineering. That is an academy pathway. You earn a stole to wear at graduation. It's encouraged for you to academy, but it is not required. If you click on the link here, it'll give you all the acceptable academy pathways. Versus an endorsement. One is required for graduation. There are lots of options. Taking your 4 core classes every 4 years, all 4 years, will get you that. So, and then you might end up getting others. Like, for example, if you take 5 sciences or 5 math, you get STEM. If you take 4 years of a foreign language, you get arts and humanities. So there's other academic ways to get an endorsement as well. Endorsements do not get a stole. That's academy. However, you might have something like 4 engineering courses that count as an academy. That can count as an endorsement. But if you're getting an academic one, like 5 science classes, that earns a STEM endorsement, not an academy stole. So I always feel right before graduation, people are like, oh, but I thought I was supposed to get a stole for those 5 sciences. No, 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 no. Only for the elective-based academies. Okay, let's move on to college apps and what colleges need to get. So first thing is, what does Westwood send? First thing is your transcript. However, we cannot mind read. You need to pay $3 in the transcript office, or there's the online ordering system, which is super easy on the front of the Westwood website. You pay $3 per school, and we send that with your senior schedule and your school profile. All of that is done automatically with your transcript. And if you don't know what the school profile is, the school profile, which is on the counseling website, tells colleges what Westwood is like. It tells them our rank policy. It tells them our average test scores. This is where it shows what Westwood is really like, because Westwood is very unique and competitive, so it lets colleges see that. Next, if you're applying to Common App, we will do your secondary school report. This is where in Common App you add your counselor's email address, and it sends us the link to fill out your secondary school report, which includes your transcript, which includes maybe the rec letter for Common App. So all of that is there. But again, if you don't tell us about it, we cannot mind read. So again, transcript order from the school registrar. For Common App, you have to type in your counselor's email address and double check you type their name in correctly. Okay, so I told you that transcript request form, it's right here linked in as well. This will take you to the ordering form, or again, you can go to the front of the Westwood website. Next thing I want to cover briefly is percentile certificates. Remember, Westwood is a non-ranking high school except for the top 10%, which legally we have to do for Texas schools. However, if you're talking to an admissions advisor and they say, gosh, if we had known you were in the top 25%, we could offer you a scholarship or we could offer you some more money. So that might be, well, I can't actually order a percentile certificate and it'll tell you I'm in the top quarter. Great. However, there are some negative consequences. I've had students who have no rank but have an amazing GPA send in saying they're in the top quarter, in the top 50%. Well, then right off the bat, the college probably was going to look at your GPA and assign a rank based off the other applicants where you would fall. And you might do better without sending a percentile certificate, which maybe would make your assigned rank they give you higher. So percentile certificates, be very wary of them. Only send them in if an admission advisor tells you it will help, because I never want you to accidentally get hurt from it. So Common App and SendEDU. The nice thing is, with these two programs, we only send your transcript once. So in Common App, when your counselor gets the SSR request, you typed in their email address, it works where we upload the transcript once, your rec letter once, and then any college you apply to, whether it's 1 or 10 on Common App, they all can download it from where your counselor sent it. So since we only do the work one time, we only charge you once on the transcript. So on this transcript request form, I'm going to go ahead and click on it. When you fill it all out, and again, it gives you very detailed instructions. For Common App, it tells you, make sure you let the counselor know that we will send it in. And Common App even has a specific thing right here where you mark it. And again, you only have to pay $3 for that one program. So don't forget. Okay, so let's continue back to the presentation. So what else will you send? You need to complete the application. So whether it's on Go Apply Texas, Common App, you need to fill it out. Some schools, you'll just have to fill it out on their websites, like University of Alabama. You go to the University of Alabama's website and fill out their application. You have to type in all the data. If they require essays, you need to write them. Some of them will have application fees. If you qualify for free or reduced lunch, you are eligible for fee waivers, so you don't have to pay those fees. If you are in that boat, come see me, Miss Browning, up in D1127, right off the front entryway, and I can handle your fee waivers for you. But again, you must qualify for free or reduced lunch. Resume. I know it says optional on most college applications, but you really should submit them. And here's the reason why. You will notice, like, for example, on Go Apply Texas, if you say you're in band, it's only going to give you like 25 characters to describe band. 25 characters is not enough to describe what you did in 4 years of band. So your resume is where you can write band and you can write all the details you want about the time commitment it took. So definitely submit your resume. Portfolio. If you're applying for some degrees like art, graphic design, maybe a fine art, you're going to have to upload a portfolio. The thing I like to tell y'all for that is make sure you listen to how the college wants it uploaded. And unfortunately, if you're wanting an art degree and you apply to 10 schools might want something different. They might want it submitted in a different way. Don't be lazy. Follow their instructions, because the odds are if you upload it wrong or in the wrong format, they're probably going to make you an automatic no. So take the time and make sure you don't get your schools confused and do it exactly what they ask. The last thing I say is keep a copy of everything you send. This is the one time it's okay to plagiarize yourself. So if you write a short answer for one school and a different school asks you a similar question, reuse that answer. You might think, well, it only took me like 10 minutes to write that short answer. Well, 10 minutes is 10 minutes. Don't waste your time. Next, test scores. Westwood cannot send your test scores for you. You have to order them through College Board or ACT. It's a non-negotiable. We cannot do it for you. So you'll have to log into your ACT or SAT account. If you qualify for free or reduced lunch, I can give you waivers to cover the cost so you don't have to spend money sending your test scores. So please, again, come see me if that is you. You will also see that a lot of colleges this year are continuing the test optional policy where you don't have to submit test scores. If you do submit test scores, make sure you're following the right process. But I would also, if you're like, well, I did take a test, but I don't know if I should send it, call the admissions officers and ask them. You can say, well, I made a 28 on my ACT. Would it hurt me or help me to send that in? They'll be honest with you. Also, look at the scholarship pages because you might not need a test score for admissions, but they might require a test score to qualify you for scholarship. So you want to make sure you have one for scholarships, even if you don't need it for admissions. College readiness. So for every student before they graduate, they need to be considered college ready. Students either do that by taking an SAT, an ACT, or the TSI. So if you are not college ready, you're going to receive an email letting you know, and at your one-on-one conference with your senior counselor, they will inform you as well, and we will get you set up for some tests here on campus to fix this before graduation. So just a heads up. Okay, Apply Texas. The website changed over the summer. It used to just be www.applytexas.org. If you go to that website, it's going to give you the link of the new website, which is all they did was insert the word go. So now it's www.goapplytexas.org. And this is what it looks like. First time here, you click Get Started. If you already started working, you just need to log back in, you click on Log In. Super simple. So Apply Texas will have you pick all the schools you want to apply to, and you fill out the applications and submit. Make sure you're checking your deadlines. You don't want to miss something. And I always say a lot of times with scholarships, like a college might tell you, you have till February 1st to apply. However, if you want to be considered for scholarships, you have to apply by December 1st. So always, always, always check deadlines for scholarships and the application due dates. These are some commonly asked questions on Go Apply Texas I get. It asks you, what's your graduation plan? 99% of y'all will answer foundation program, distinguished level of achievement. And it'll give you like 8 things to choose from. That's what you want. A different question that I get is about college credits. And this is talking about ACC. So rule of thumb, 3 hours per course. So if you took U.S. History and Government, that's 2 courses times 3, 6 hours. They are not asking for your AP or IB credits you have earned, purely ACC. Anything else? Uploading additional documents. So whether it's your resume, visa information, extra rec letters, whatever they're asking you for, once you submit Apply Texas, they will then send it to the college. They're going to process your application, and usually in 3 to 5 business days, you will get an email from, let's say, Texas A&M saying, sign up your portal right here. It'll give you your login. And then that portal is where you can upload all the extra documents. You will get this for every school you apply to on Apply Texas. So just be on the lookout. 3 to 5 days after you submit, you should get your portal. And that's where you upload everything. And you can check the status of what they've received and what they haven't. So definitely monitor it to make sure they get everything. Common App, that is commonapp.org. Big thing for Common App. These are going to be most out-of-state schools. And then I can't stress it enough. If you're applying to a Texas private school, so TCU, Rice, you're going to want to use Common App. They're available on Apply Texas, some of them, but don't use it. Use Common App because all those schools require a lot more documents than what Apply Texas does. And if you, let's say, so for TCU, if you apply on Apply Texas, you'll think you're done and you've submitted everything on Apply Texas. But if you actually go to their website, it's going to tell you then you actually need to print out all these other forms and give them to people, and then they have to mail them in. No. Common App has all that stuff built in where you can't submit the application until all of that's included. So use Common App for Texas private schools. And again, make sure you use your school counselor. And you're going to get a question that says, do you waive your rights to see your rec letters? You need to say yes. You're probably going to see it on Common App as well. You always waive your rights. Because here's the thing. You should have asked teachers that you have a good relationship with. You're not asking somebody that you probably got caught, if you got caught cheating in a class, you're probably not going to ask that teacher. So you should not be worried what your teachers are going to say because you asked them and they told you yes, they would write one. If you say no, it usually flags colleges to think something might not be right and you're worried about them reading it. That's a red flag. You don't want red flags on your application, so make sure you click waive your rights. Okay, just to quickly go over the different types of admissions, because you're going to see these all over the websites and I want to make sure you know what it is. Okay, let's start with regular decision. So for example, I'm going to give you an example. UT Austin and Texas A&M do this as well. So if you apply by a certain deadline, they are going to let you know by May 1st when that you've been accepted. So they'll usually like announce, February 1st, we're going to tell everybody if they're accepted or not. Versus rolling admission. So UNT, Texas State, Texas Tech, University of Houston, to name a few, is called rolling admissions. Once you get all your application in, they will let you know within a couple weeks if you were accepted or not. So there's not this long months of waiting. You will know within a few weeks of them receiving everything. So, and again, you have till May 1st to decide if you want to accept it or not. Early action. So you are going to see early action and early decision on your Common App schools. Common App, not Apply Texas. Common App. Early action means you apply early and you receive your decision early. And again, you have till May 1st to accept it or decline it. I love early action. All it means is you just have to get all your stuff together early and submit. But it gives you a better chance of getting in versus going on the regular decision date. So get it in early, it ups your chances of getting in. You can do every school that offers early action, you can do it. It will only help you. Early decision is where I always say, proceed with caution. Early decision means you apply early, it bumps up your chance of getting in. However, you're going to find out real early if you got in. But at that point, if you're admitted, you are committed. It's an automatic, I am going there, and they make you withdraw from all the other schools you've applied to, so you'll never know if you got into your other schools because you can only pick one school for early decision, and it is a binding agreement. And you might be thinking, oh, I bet I can get out of it, not a big deal. No. If you click early decision, it makes you sign a contract in Common App saying you understand this is a commitment, and you sign it. And then it sends an email to your parents and they have to fill out that contract saying they are aware. And then it sends a thing to your counselor who says the student is aware that they are stuck going here if they get accepted. So this is if you have a dream school and your parents have said, yes, if you get in, you are 100% going there. That is the only reason you should have an early decision. Okay. I'm sure you're all aware of this because you live in the state of Texas, but I want to make sure I cover it just in case. If you are in the top 10%, you have guaranteed admissions to all Texas public schools as long as you apply by their deadline. UT Austin is the only caveat, 6% for them. So again, but you have to apply by the deadline. Essays. Your essays are your way of telling a college all about you. You don't have to use a million big words. Don't go crazy with the thesaurus. Talk from the heart, make it easy to read for them. I mean, a lot of these admissions officers are reading thousands and thousands of essays. If they get lost in your writing because you're trying to use such big words and stuff, it loses the meaning. The other thing is you need to make sure your grammar is on point and spelling is on point. There are so many admissions advisors at competitive schools who say if we come across a blatant spelling or grammar mistake, it's an automatic no. So you need to make sure they are great. Have your friends read them, have your parents read them, maybe have your English teacher read them. You need to make sure they are ready. And again, I already kind of told you about the resumes. Even though it might say optional, you need to do that because that's where you can elaborate on your activities versus being stuck with the character counts on the applications. Letters of rec. They are only required for Common App. Common App usually makes you have your counselor and 2 teachers. And again, I would never do 2 similar types of teachers. So even if you're wanting to get a biology degree, I wouldn't pick 2 science teachers. Pick 2 people who are going to know you in a different way so they can talk about you in a different way. Like a lot of times I'll say, if you're an athlete, have maybe your core English, maybe your core science teacher, but also do maybe your coach as well, because they're going to talk about different things. And we want your letters of rec to add to your application. So definitely, definitely, definitely really think about who you want. And it doesn't need to be necessarily your junior or senior teachers. It can be your freshman and sophomore teachers if you had a great relationship with them. Ask them early. Remember, teachers and counselors have a life outside of school. I know it might be hard to believe that, but we do. And we enjoy our Netflix and our family time just as much as y'all do. So you need to ask early, at least a few weeks in advance. And then after they write it, I would follow up with a thank you note to let them know we appreciate you gave up time with your family to write those letters, because they're not writing them during the day. They're writing them at nighttime. So definitely, definitely, definitely make sure you say thank you. Finding the best college for you. If you're still kind of struggling with where you might want to go, bigfuture.collegeboard is a great tool to help you narrow down where you might want to go. It lets you filter by degrees. It lets you filter by if it's city, kind of small town, rural, how big the school is, what test scores they kind of want. It lets you narrow down so much to find schools that maybe you wouldn't know about outside of Texas. I always tell people, I'm in Texas, so I know about a lot of our little schools like Trinity, Incarnate Word, and San Antonio, both amazing schools. But if you're from New York, you probably haven't heard of them, but they're great schools. So it's vice versa. There's probably schools across the US that you've never heard about, but are amazing. So this is a great way to find some maybe schools for you to research and look at. I always say, again, what's important to you? I like hot weather. I could never survive up north. So I would definitely not be looking at any colleges in the north. I couldn't do it. Can't handle the snow. Do you want to be in a city? Do you want to be out in the country? Do you want there to be a religious, background for the school? Some schools require you to take religious ed courses. Is that something that you want to do? If you're interested in Greek life, make sure they have it. Big or little, you think about, this school's only 5,000 students. That's not much bigger than Westwood. Are you wanting to go to a much bigger school like 30,000 that has the giant football teams and all of that? But, you're one of 30,000. That's huge. So you've got to kind of think about this. So what's right for you? Don't necessarily just go off the brand names you've heard. When students ask, how many should I apply for? I usually say 4 more. I think that's usually safe. Do we have students who apply to 20 or 30 schools? Yes. I think that's a lot. I don't think it's necessary, and that's a fortune to do. So I think 4 is a good number. Make sure you've applied to one school you're an automatic to get accepted. If you're not sure what an automatic for you is, I think you can have an honest conversation with your counselor, and they'll probably guide you to schools that they really think you'd have a great chance of getting in. And then you can apply to some schools that are, I always say you have your automatics, your reach schools that are right in your grasp, and then your dream schools. Because again, you can apply, and worst case they're going to do is tell you no. But, if there's a chance you really want to go somewhere, it's worth it. But, within reason, 20 to 30 schools, not necessary. College visits. If you go to the Westwood Counseling page, and I've sent y'all an email about this, we have college visits coming on our campus this year. So we didn't offer it last year. So this is a perk for this year. We already have like UT, A&M, Baylor, they're coming. You can go to the library and meet with the admissions officer, introduce yourself. So that way, when they read your application, they know there's a face to that name. So I think it's very helpful. Also, the colleges are posting virtual tours all over their websites. You can definitely attend, call and talk to the admission officers. At the schools, they'll give you advice. Remember I said with test optional. Let them know what your test score is and just say, should I send it in? Will that help or hurt me? They'll give you their honest opinion. This is what they do for a living. So ask the experts. So all the colleges have virtual tours. A lot of them are back to offering in-person tours, and a lot of them are offering special weekends for prospective students where, They might invite you to a football game. You'll maybe get to sit in some classes at the college level. So you want to look on websites for all the different colleges for these things. And then if you're on a general tour, make sure you visit the list of the places here, because I really think that kind of sells you on if the school is right for you. And I always say getting on a campus is the best way to know if a school is right. I remember myself touring schools, and when I got to the campus and took a tour of where I went, it's like I knew that was the right place for me, versus other ones I was like, no way, I could not live here, not going to do it. Because really, you're looking for your home for the next 4 years. This is a big deal. So we want to make sure the campus and the environment gives you a good feeling. So definitely visit schools. Housing. Where are you going to plan to live? So this is why those tours are so important, because you want to know, are you going to be living in a dorm? Do they have learning communities, which is like, if you want to be a business major, they might have like a dorm that's completely for business students. Are you going to want to live in an apartment? Because some schools will require you to live on campus as a freshman. So you need to be researching housing as well as you look at your schools. So very important. Paying for college. Okay, this is a huge change this year. Y'all's graduating class is the first year. In order to graduate high school, you have to apply for aid. So most students will fill out the FAFSA, which is the free financial aid system. If you are not a U.S. citizen or you're an international student here at Westwood, you will fill out the TASFA. It's completely free to fill these out. It does not take long. They are available starting October 1st this year, and you're going to fill it out every year you're in college. This is where you get scholarships, grants, loans, work study. Work study is like a job on campus, and you give them your class schedule, and they give you a job on campus around your class hours, so it makes it very convenient. So this is what the FAFSA website looks like. It takes about 30 minutes. You literally just go to FAFSA.gov, start a new FAFSA, and begin. If you have an older sibling, I'm sure your parents have already done it for them. The big thing is this year, it's a requirement for graduation. So you've got to tell your parents that, because that is a huge change in the law. So they might not be aware. And we don't want you waiting till the week before graduation to fill it out, because we want to make sure you're going to graduate much sooner than May. So please, please, please let your parents know this is a requirement. And we'll go over this with them at your senior conferences as well. So again, October 1st is when it opens. Do not get on there before, because if you get on there before, you will fill out the wrong application. We recommend, based off what colleges are telling us, that you have it done by January 15th. So sometime between October 1st and January 15th. You have a couple different holiday breaks. You've got Thanksgiving and winter break. So that would be a great time. You could sit down with your family and do that. And again, on the counseling website, I have a whole section on the FAFSA and how to fill it out and all the tips you could possibly need for your parents. Scholarships, again, on the website. You will start getting emails from me later this semester and a lot next semester about local scholarships. Local scholarships are for students who are going in the Westwood or maybe in the Austin area or Williamson-Travis County. Scholarships just for y'all. So there's going to be a lot less of people applying for those, because you have to live in this area. So the odds of you getting those scholarships are much higher, versus like if you go to Coca-Cola's website, they have a scholarship, but anybody in the country can apply for. The odds just aren't in your favor. So it's better when there's maybe 1,000 people applying versus 1,000,000 people applying. So you will get all of this from me. So that's coming. And just some other general reminders. Make sure your senior one-on-one conferences are going to be coming up early September. Make sure you attend, get there on time. In general, don't procrastinate, stay organized, stay in contact with your teachers, monitor hack. I cannot stress enough, check your email multiple times a day, because that's where the scholarship things are going to be coming from. That's where all the important things you need to do as a senior are going. So if you're not checking it, you're not getting the updates. So please, please, please make sure you're checking that. Also, social media, colleges, admission counselors, they're looking at your social media accounts. So make sure they are appropriate, not full of bad language or anything else you wouldn't like want your grandma to see. That's usually my point of reference. If you would be embarrassed for your grandma to see it, then it shouldn't be on there. So you need to get those cleaned up, and just, it's good for life not to have things you would be embarrassed about. And then again, check the counseling website. There's so much under that applying to college page, resume templates, your college checklist, your NCAA stuff if you're thinking you might want to play college sports. All of that stuff is on there. So use the counseling website. And again, if you have any questions, reach out to your counselors. You can reach out to me or reach out to the college admissions people. They're going to be able to give you so much more insightful information. I can't stress it enough. I hope this helped.